Hello, everybody. This episode of The Horror Show is brought to you by Kaylin Kieran. I don't think I said that correctly. H.N. Thomas and Edward Foote. Thank you all so much. They donated over at patreon.com/IHateHorror. Special episode. We're dropping this early on Friday the 13th to kick off our Friday the 13th serial killer. This episode, we're doing movies 1 through 3. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to get back to be doing some more creative stuff like this. And to get on a little bit more of a serious note, which I've been doing a little bit more from time to time, and I don't know why. It's not fun. I need to dedicate this episode. A friend of ours, Joe T. It's not the Joe. This is dedicated to him. He was an amazing guy. And he unfortunately took his own life, and that fucking sucks. And I loved him a lot. And if you need help, if you're feeling so down, you just need to call somebody. Just call a friend, call a hotline. You shouldn't be ashamed to do that. It's so important. If I could have just told them, and it fucking sucks. And I hope we get to tell some Joe stories soon. I do have some. He's such a fucking good guy, man. Like, genuinely good. And his whole family's good. And it's just fucking heartbreaking. And he's a guy, to me, he means a lot because he didn't give a shit about what people said. Like, literally didn't give a shit. He was his own person. And he'd be so happy for what we were doing. I'm not sure if he even listened to the show or not. I never asked him. And I just know if he would just be so into this. He really would. He would be so fucking into this. And it just sucks, man. So this one's for Joe, and this is for everyone out there. If you need help, reach out to anyone, man. Reach out to the hotlines. Reach out to your friends. Whoever you want to do. Go through your fucking phone list until somebody tells you how much they mean to you, because somebody will. Somebody will, because you do mean a lot to a lot of people. So anyway, thank you, Joe, and enjoy this episode, guys.
Paying attention in class, I was thinking about the adventures of Ash, about the misfortune of sinning kids at Crystal Lake. Became addicted straight away with the initial tape. God bless Betamax. VHS, holy like Amanda Kruger. I was introduced to genre flicks by Toby Hooper. I started craving more just like Larry the Looter. I collected VHS without commentary or bloopers. Throw computers, magazines, a bunch of stores. Spent my money on movies and begged my mom for more. I'd watch the boys kill those Astro bastards 5 times a day or even more. I loved the gore. Lionel and Paquita combined their lonely hearts. I was hellbound, Cenobites tore my soul apart. I've seen them all, from Dracula to Vertigo. Listen up, welcome to The Horror Show with Sean and Joe.
Director Sean Cunningham and his protege Steve Miner set out on their last attempt to strike it big in movies. They had a name, Friday the 13th. And in September 1979, they went out to a Boy Scout camp in New Jersey and began shooting what would be one of the most influential pieces of cinema ever. Like a tale out of a Hollywood film, the protege steps in to continue where his mentor left off. The result? 3 films that not only changed the horror genre, but changed Hollywood entirely. From Bloody Disgusting and The Horror Show, this is Serial Killer. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Show. Show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Welcome back to Serial Killer.
Yeah, we took a year off.
Took a year off. Do we take a year off, or like we're kind of like just behind like a couple months? I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we've done 2.
I missed it, so.
Huh?
I missed it.
It's just a few months, but it is like it lapped a year. Like we didn't.
I'm saying I missed doing it.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I guess it's not. This was hard. We did the first 3 episodes. We were even supposed to do the first 4, and really, the first attempt was going to be 7 movies this week, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And thank God we didn't try that. It would never have worked. I mean, literally, we barely got through the.
We would be recording all night.
We would be.
We should have talked about this before we started recording. How are we going to do this?
We're just going to talk about all the movies.
Okay.
We got some facts. So the idea of serial killer has always just been to kind of just discuss something. What was the first year? Was the first year Tobe Hooper?
It was.
Tobe Hooper's filmography. Mm-hmm. We went through all of that, and we were asking the question, is Tobe Hooper
a good director?
Good director. I don't even know if we came to an answer. So yeah, I think we said...
Well, I think the answer is kind of no, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is so fucking good that it's like, yeah.
Right. Like
Funhouse is fun.
His contributions shouldn't be discredited from the other shit that he made.
No, and I think it was more critical of his like canon run than
which was insane.
Probably like Invaders from Mars and Life Force are kind of fun.
Yeah. No, they're not
good movies.
You always said that, yeah. Then we did Friday the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
We did.
Looking into that. And boy, that wasn't good.
No, it's not.
That was a weird... and I'm surprised. We didn't even get that much hate for that, which was insane.
Because deep down, people know.
They do know.
Like, Freddy is cool, and no one's going to take away from that.
Yeah.
And the first one's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're fine if you put them on.
I actually just saw somebody recently say the first one was not good. And I got so mad.
Somebody wrote to you saying that Freddy actually sailed in like 1492. Took the kids away. He was not joking. He was literally telling you that was a factual part of the movie.
I do remember that. I totally forgot until you just mentioned it. So this year, I really didn't want to do like another franchise because I feel like that's kind of easy to just like be like, oh, that kind of sucks. Friday the 13th, after watching the first 3, which I've seen a million times in like the last 3 years for some reason, we just watched 2 and 3 in a theater.
We did.
On this big screen. This is an interesting franchise.
I'm going to tell you right now, Friday the 13th is light years ahead of Nightmare on Elm Street.
I agree completely.
The first 3 are literally light years ahead of...
I agree completely. They give you everything you want. Well, we're going to hit some dirt roads soon. Right now, the road's paved in gold.
That is true. But once you get to like hell and...
Well, hell's a fucking nightmare.
It is a nightmare. But what you're saying, it gives you what you want.
Yeah.
They do. It's just like... You don't necessarily have to pay attention, but if you do, it's still a fine time.
Yeah,
Like, you're not like, this isn't so... Like...
Yeah.
It's what you want in a horror movie. It's a cabin in the woods. There's nudity.
Yep.
There's partying.
Yep.
And there's kills.
Yep.
And the kills are great.
Yeah.
And there's like a masked villain, like a known villain.
Yes, which is cool.
I like it.
I'm down with it. I'm interested to see what happens after this first part. So we're doing parts 1 through 3. And I guess the question I don't know what the question is, honestly, in looking into these. I don't think it's going to be whether it's good or not. I think it's just...
Does it hold up?
What is Friday? Like, yeah, like, I don't know. Because I think... I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think Nightmare took itself way too seriously. Well, that's because Wes Craven made a very good movie the first go around. You know what I mean? So they were kind of like sequeling. It would be like... maybe this is giving it like a little too much credit, but it would be like doing a sequel to Get Out, like where there's like an element of psychology to the first one that you just like Get Out 2 would be like, what a fucking nightmare. Like,
well, that's what you're talking about for Nightmare?
Yeah.
Okay. Because the first one was so well.
A little more psychological
definitely.
based. So I don't know, but this was like from day one, from the fucking jump was just like, there's somebody running around killing you while you're naked trying to fuck.
That's it. Also, this movie makes me, or all these movies, at least, especially the first 3, I've forgotten how much I hate this fucking guy. If you listen to the episodes from like 8 months ago, we would complain about how this guy would just rev his engine. We stopped recording here. This is our first night back, and this fucking guy is still revving his engine.
Back, dude. Can't get enough of it, man. Can't get enough of
Unbelievable.
it. So what were you saying? Do you even remember?
I don't know. Anyway,
I should report
these movies make me appreciate John Carpenter's Halloween so much more because they very clearly pay homage in all of them. Like even in part 3, as we'll get to, there's a scene where she's looking out the window and Jason's standing in the clothesline, like with the sheets hanging, just like Michael Myers does.
Sean Cunningham, when they decided to make this, well, so he had the title Friday the 13th in his head, and he's like, I could sell a movie based on that name alone. So he takes out an ad in like Variety or whatever, one of those Hollywood, it's not Variety, I don't know. One of the Hollywood publications with a poster of a movie that didn't exist, trying to sell it. That's how he gets it made. And he called his friend. It was just like, let's rip off Halloween. Oh, well. That's what he said. And he's like, all right. So that's what they did.
I mean, usually you could tell like, oh, this movie might be paying homage to this and that, blah, blah, blah. This is very clearly like inspired by Halloween. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a movie that's just like, I'm going to take this and try and like up the ante.
Yeah. And really, I don't know, man, really did their own thing, even though it was a ripoff.
Well, they did. No, they totally made it their own.
It's crazy. It's really weird. But like to start out being like, let's rip them off. Like so many people do that, and it's
right because a lot of times you're like, why am I watching this? So I could just go watch the more.
Right. And this one doesn't do it. Our friend Blair, Bananas, sent me a message that was very true. She's like, the first 3 are the exact same story, told 3 different times.
Well, aren't the first all of them?
Maybe all of them. But like they're like the story of them literally just is the same thing.
As people going to camp, we can jump around, right?
Yeah. We can jump around.
I love because I was telling my wife, I was like, I love how like on Manhattan they're on a boat and there's still somehow the doomed guy. I assumed it was the same doomed guy in all of them for some reason, even though I've seen it all.
No,
but that guy fucking dies and they just replace him in the third one. Like, well,
dude, that was one of my notes. That made me laugh so hard. Why kill him off in 2 when you bring in somebody else to just do the
same? He does the same thing. It's like no different. He's just. He even talks the same. It's fucking
it cracks me up.
Wimbly ass voice.
Cracks me up, dude.
Because when he died in 2, I was like, this is bullshit. Like I know I've seen him in other ones.
Just another old idiot.
Yeah.
And in the third one, he's holding an eyeball, and everyone's like, "Hey, what is that?"
Did he even disclose where he got it from?
All right.
Now, can we actually talk about issues we have with the Friday the 13th?
Sure.
Why is Jason aging?
The Jason aging thing.
The timeline makes 0 sense.
There's a documentary. I won't call it a great one, like the Nightmare one. But there's a documentary on Shudder. It's called Crystal Lake Memories, I believe it's called. 6 hours fucking long. And it's the same thing. It's kind of an oral history of these movies. And it's really funny, though, because they hit on some of these questions and they'll ask like some of the people not fully involved, like Savini and stuff, not the creatives behind it.
Yeah.
Savini's like,
did you say where this is on? It's
on Shudder.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And Savini's like, so what did he do during those 3 years? Just a child hanging out by the lake eating crawfish. And it's true. Like, what the fuck happened? But also the aging thing made no sense.
Well, so
he dies when he's a kid.
Dies when he's a kid in 1958.
1958.
The first Friday the 13th takes place in present day, which is 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the math on that? 22 years?
Here's my theory.
He's still very young when he's in the water.
Right.
The next movie takes place 5 months after the events of the first one. And he is a man. He's grown rapidly. He's grown more in those 5 months than he has in those 22 years since he died. And then in the third one, he has been hitting the gym hard because he's monstrous.
He's yoked. And he also has no neck whatsoever.
None. And then we go to, like later on, we'll go to Kane Hodder era.
Yeah.
big guy.
Yeah.
And Ken Kersinger, who's fucking ridiculously huge. None of it makes sense. Why would he be working out? Also, why does he need a mask?
Well,
He's
so
dead. He's embarrassed.
so I don't. So here's my.
Want to be ID'd?
Can I tell you my theory? Can I tell you my theory? Here's my theory. Which, by the way, I don't even know why we're gonna get into the theories, because when you see these interviews with these guys that made it, they were like, "Well, we just had to come up with something."
Well, they're very obvious.
They were like, "We just needed something to happen."
That honestly makes me like it more because they somehow pulled it off.
Yeah, like no one gives a fuck somehow. Here's my theory, though. Anything that took place, anything that came out of the water,
Yeah.
is a hallucination. It's a hallucination.
Oh, I thought the water was gonna be like
It's like part of like some type of mental hallucination.
because it happens at the end of all
Supernatural.
3 fucking films.
Right. And every time it's something that doesn't really exist. They don't actually ever get pulled into the water.
Okay, so
in
then,
all of them.
well, how's that explain Jason?
Jason was never in the water.
Where was it?
Just hanging out with Pam. Oh, wait, no, because Pam's really upset because he's dead. So there goes my theory.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
What if the water causes you to age slowly?
Okay,
And
that's
then when you're
like
out of
salt
the
water. It's like salt water.
What?
It's like salt water.
That causes you to age slowly?
I don't know, like salt keeps things preserved.
Oh, I like it. But it's a lake. Or lake saltwater?
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe they can't.
maybe Pam just poured all
Just kept
all
dumping
this.
for 22 years, just salting the lake. We need to make a prequel.
Dude, people would be so offended by all
In that boat.
just Pam Voorhees.
But it's with a salt shaker. So it's just really slow.
yeah. Like, and people are like, "Hey,
It's all crazy.
why don't you just use a bag of salt?" She's like, "No."
Well, anyway, I like it. So then when he's out, he ages like a normal.
Right.
Fucking brilliant.
So, I think we were gonna say something else about that, but I can't remember what it was.
About
Just
him
the idea.
aging.
I don't know.
Well, we talked about the mask. Do you have an idea why he's wearing a mask?
So I know, but in the third one, I actually really liked it. And maybe we should save that for when we get there. So let's just start with the first one. Well, let's start with
And for those who's never listened to Serial Killer, we don't really break it down as in depth
as
we
much.
do.
Yeah. Some of them we will, I think, because there's a couple episodes where we only do two
I'm
movies.
more excited to talk about the bad ones.
Same. Like the first 3, me and you have watched. I don't even know. Did we talk about 3 in the part 3s? I don't even know if we did.
Oh,
Maybe we browsed.
that was how many years ago?
I don't even know. Not
How long have
long
we been doing
enough.
this show?
Not long. It's
I've watched part 3 like more than any movie.
Joe, all 3 of these I've watched like a dozen times in the last 2 years, and
It's crazy.
I was so fucking mad, and somehow I still had to take like a few notes and be like, I totally forgot. So, I would say that this is probably also one of the most like aggressive expansions of a franchise ever. Like they knew what they had, and they just started pumping them out. So even though Halloween came out, how many years before? 2 years before.
Yep.
Part
Halloween 2 didn't come out till 1 year after.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Part 2 came out like 6 months before Halloween 2.
Oh, part 2 came out.
Yeah.
So Friday had more movies in the franchise
But
before part 2.
Halloween 2. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
That's fucking wild. Like they were just like boom, and they hit it. Like and maybe it was a thing. Maybe people saw Halloween and they were like, I fucking want that.
No, definitely.
And then Friday comes along and actually provide like because there were movies in between, but nothing like this.
The 2 movies you could tell that these guys loved,
Yeah.
worshipped. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And
they even threw in a fucking chainsaw.
and it's even inspired somehow by
Evil Dead.
Dead.
So those who don't know, the creators have recently said that Jason Voorhees is a Deadite. Cool, right? Except he's not. Because Evil Dead came out 4 years after Friday the 13th. So there's no way Jason Voorhees... Like, think about what you guys are fucking saying.
See, but I
He's
kind of
not
like
a Deadite.
They just go with whatever they want.
That's fine. And honestly, it's cool that you're tying it in, but you can't be like, oh yeah, he's always been. That's been our plan. It's not because the thing didn't exist when you made it.
So yeah, super aggressive.
Did the documentary? You watched all of it?
No, I haven't watched all of it. I just watched up to part 3.
Perfect. Did they have a plan all along to make Jason
No.
Because if you look at the events of the first one,
I
they have
agree.
no reason to be like, I'm making a sequel, but I'm making the fucking freak in the water the main character.
Yeah. Not even considered. Like they were trying to figure out how to bring Pam Voorhees back.
Okay, so that actually makes sense because that always fascinated me because the first one was such a big hit. Like, why would you make that?
Why
leap
would you
to
fuck
Jason?
up the formula?
Why would it
that's
be
a good,
Jason?
That's a great question. That's like when you win a championship in a sport and then just deconstruct the team, and you're like, why wouldn't you just bring them all back and try one more time?
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah,
'cause, I mean, it would have been stupid if you brought
I would
me
have been so mad if Pam Voorhees showed up again. Also, I don't think there's anyone that dislikes the Friday franchise more than Betsy Palmer, who plays with Pamela Voorhees. Dude, in the documentary, I was telling Joe this earlier, but I watched it after that. She was like, oh yeah, I go to these conventions and people are saying how much they love me, and I look at them and I say, why do you like this?
I met her. God rest her soul.
She's something else. But she also did have like a level of pride to it. It was weird because, I don't know, it was very odd. She was in a lot of movies in the 60s and stuff, kind of as like the wholesome girl. And I guess she claims that when this came out, people were like, you've ruined your reputation. I know, I agree completely. And she was like, I don't give a shit.
But it's probably the most successful movie of her career.
It has to be. She claimed it was like this Sunshine and Smiles thing from 1960, which I highly doubt. So also, let's just talk real quick. Slashers. So this is a slasher for sure.
It is.
Halloween slasher.
Halloween's a slasher. Halloween's the Godfather.
But why is
The
that?
Father.
Why is Halloween the Godfather when like there was a bunch of other stuff like
what?
Texas Chainsaw? Is that not a slasher?
I mean, slash is usually a knife.
Like some people put Peeping Tom, which I would not put, and Psycho.
Psycho could be. Psycho probably laid the blueprint.
Maybe, but it's like I don't know. I don't consider it. But anyway, I don't think they have enough gore. Like to me, a slasher isn't just the knife. It's like just killing and gore, like just nonstop killing.
I feel like you need to slash.
Yeah, but you can slash with a fucking chainsaw.
Well, you cut.
And fucking Grandpa slashes with his hammer.
Grandpa's not slashing shit.
Black Christmas
Is a slasher, 1974.
I gave it 5 fucking stars.
You should.
It's so good. That's
who
definitely a
made Baby
slasher.
Geniuses.
But maybe not enough gore to be like, I don't know.
You gotta start somewhere. I mean, would Suspiria be? No.
I don't know. No.
No.
That's like witchcraft.
Yeah.
So here's the ones I had listed. Black Christmas, 1974. Town That Dreaded Sundown, 1976. If you like cop procedurals.
I mean, you could tell that these guys like that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
He's wearing the fucking
bag.
head.
Hills Have Eyes, 1977.
That's just genetic.
Halloween, 78. Maniac, 1980.
Maniac's a slash.
Maniac, I think, actually came after this.
Okay.
Technically, but they were probably filmed at the same time.
Isn't that weird how things happen like that? Like I always think about it, even with like music. Like,
Yes.
Like for instance, black metal.
Yeah.
They all sounded the same. They all came up at the same exact time.
Like the same year.
Why does that happen? Grunge.
And they
all
wouldn't-
come up at the same time. Death metal. You have Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, all that.
I think there's an element to Hollywood where they know, like, they're like, this company's producing a slasher, so let's get on board too. Like let's follow their lead, and like maybe that is the hot thing. Like,
Well, I'm sure after they saw the success of Halloween, most
Yeah.
companies, but like was Friday the 13th even done by a company? Had a pretty low budget.
he had 3 investors from like
Yeah.
Long Island.
Exactly.
So-
So, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were just like, let me try it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Burning in 81, Halloween 2.
The Burning, I mean,
81.
it's so funny because this movie clearly is the father of slashers.
For sure.
Halloween influenced lots of things.
Yeah.
Like just in filmmaking.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
But as far as just pure slashers, Friday the 13th is the father. And like you mentioned The Burning. The Burning is Friday the 13th.
Oh,
It is.
It is.
You can't even, like, Propsy
Camp.
is a disgusting freak. the camp, deformed. It's the same exact fucking thing. Even the way that, like, Jason Alexander is acting is just like the people in Friday the 13th.
Yeah. I mean, all the tropes were taken. It's actually crazy because there weren't as many tropes in Halloween.
Oh,
Friday the 13th might have started a lot of tropes.
definitely. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of fucking crazy, actually.
Like every movie after that, you can just have like a family tree.
I also like them because Friday the 13th, they were like, from movie one, we were like, let's just get cheap actors that we don't have to pay a ton for and just kids. And it fucking worked.
Kevin Bacon.
Fucking Kevin Bacon. He's doing a lot of fucking in this film.
Yes.
Good for him. So, part one, produced and directed by Sean.
This is our most intelligent
Cunningham.
Conversation like ever.
We used to do this.
Did we?
Once upon a time. I think when we would do like roundtables and shit, we would like actually like talk about shit. Yeah, well.
No way.
Dude, Paul actually like used to say like meaningful things instead of just being like.
That can't be true. Because the first time we had him was the creature feature.
Yeah, we talked about.
No, Sean. He just like made Langolier noises.
Made Langolier noises. That's so funny. All right. So, written by Victor Miller, this film, the first one. He'd later go on to write Jury Duty. Great movie. I love that movie. Released May 9th, 1980. It's got a 6.5 on IMDb.
People say I look like Pauly Shore.
You don't.
That's what I say.
Yeah. That's a good thing, too. 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, though, from critics. That's good. Solid shit. Betsy Palmer, Adrienne King as Alice, Kevin Bacon as Jack, one of his early roles besides Animal House. Budget $550,000 in its opening weekend. It makes $6 million on a limited release. It ended up grossing $40 million in the United States, $60 million worldwide. That's fucking crazy. I would have just retired.
I mean, what have these guys done since? Aside from Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, that's true. Jason, in this movie is played by
Ari Lehman.
Little Ari Lehman, the little boy.
Every con ever.
Every fucking con. You could get his autograph for.
That guy makes bank at
Oh, yeah, for sure.
People love seeing him.
I think that's so weird, but whatever. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to bash the guy. Good for him, right? Play one role as a kid and go. I would do that in a second.
Wait, he wasn't a kid, was he?
He was baby Jason in the water.
He was 16 years old.
All right. The kid was maybe. All right. 1958 takes place, like we said, takes place in 1958. Two camp counselors, famous. Wait. And we start out from the jump with a killer POV. Fucking killing these two camp counselors. What a way to kick off a movie.
Yep. I love that sound effect too. The cheat.
Oh man, and where did they even come up with that shit?
That's a good question. We should do more interviews. I'd love to ask people that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they can't be hard to get.
No, and I'm sure it's in that documentary somewhere, but they did not talk about it yet. And we meet Crazy Ralph. Crazy Ralph is a guy who will show up in the first and second, and then a variation of him in every other fucking movie. And he's, screaming about a death curse and all this. And we meet Alice. You think Alice is going to be your main character?
I have the answer right here.
Oh.
Well, you're going to have to wait a second because I'm reading it. They wanted to copy the Jaws score.
Okay.
And
that feeling of like anticipation.
The budget wouldn't allow like the actual score. So somebody came up with a ki ma ma ma.
Well, I'm glad somebody
killing mommy.
I mean, that's not a bad thought. Hang on.
And one of the guys is upset that people think it's cha cha cha.
Wait, so is it
Kiki Ma Ma Ma?
Is it Kiki Ma Ma Ma?
That's what they say.
Kiki Ma Ma Ma. I mean, that's dumb. That's fucking. You probably should have said, kill mom. Kill mom. Oh man, Yeah, I like it, but it's chi. It's fine. Sorry, buddy. Well, that's interesting. I kind of like that. I mean, that makes way more sense, right?
Yeah.
Because in the end, in the final scene with Pam Voorhees, where she wants to kill the girl, I forget which one it is now, the final girl. She's hearing Jason talk to her, and it's like, kill mom. So that makes perfect sense, man.
She's not hearing it. She's fucking talking to herself, making the noise with her own mouth.
Or is she? Oh no, when she's like, I'm Jason.
Definitely is.
No. No, I thought she heard the voice too. Anyway, Annie, you meet. Wait, is Annie? Hang on, sorry.
Annie's who you meet.
Is she the final girl though?
No.
Oh no.
Alice.
Okay, that's what I thought. Alice. Yeah, I get it. Fuck, I'm such an idiot. All right. Anyway, so we meet Annie. She's the first girl. You think she's going to be the star of the show, right? 20 minutes in, she's picked up by a hitchhiker, chased down in the fucking woods, and gets her throat slit.
Yeah.
Also, great special effects.
The gore in this
crazy.
movie is A+ top notch.
Could not even believe that. Like, it's weird because we've seen this a ton of times, but it's when we're trying to like think of
notes
stuff for
for
the
it,
show. You look at that fucking gash on her throat, and it was fucking disgusting.
Savini's
It was way
greatest
too
of all
realistic. It was so fun. Dude, there was not even a slight hint that there was makeup on her neck.
Yeah.
Like, it was so fucking crazy. And it's almost a predecessor to like the Scream formula of killing off Drew Barrymore in the opening movie, because this Annie girl.
There's a direct correlation there.
Yeah, Annie is the girl. Like, they are pumping her up. Like, you're learning a little bit about her story. She's going to this camp, blah, blah, blah. She's nonstop in the first 20 minutes, and then she's just hunted down and fucking murdered. And it's fucking insane. And then they bring you into the real story after that. Big shock to kill off your main character, but not as shocking as Kevin Bacon in a Speedo. Just fucking galloping around out there. Getting it. Let's see. So they play Strip Monopoly. Can you even imagine playing Strip Monopoly? How boring that would fucking be.
That is my exact note, and I said it out loud to my wife that there is nothing that would turn me on less than having to fucking bank and play Monopoly. Ugh, what a nightmare.
Doing finances, doing high finance.
Strip fucking
I'd honestly be
Monopoly.
like, just keep your fucking clothes on.
I would too. There's nothing that would honestly interest me less. Like, just either cut to the chase or don't waste my fucking time. Like, play any other game that would be fun.
It's so weird that that's what they used in this. Oh man, that's fucking great. And then 40 minutes in, people start getting picked off right away. So not only is the franchise aggressive.
You know what other movie was influenced by a scene right before people start getting picked off?
What?
The Sandlot.
Really?
When he fakes drowning. He makes out with that girl.
Oh yeah. I think that's just an old trick.
Yeah, they created it.
Okay.
Doomed guy.
Doomed guy.
He is in the closet, and it's one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen.
You're doomed.
Why is he there?
The guy is everywhere. I like in the second one when he rides a bike around.
Just yelling it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Why is he killed? Jason kills counselors that fuck.
Yeah, that was something I noticed too. He kind of just.
And in
kills
part
whoever.
3, he's killing random people.
He's just killing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's really fucking weird. He's just gotten sick of it at that point. He's just like, you know what? All these kids are fucking assholes. They're just farting around. I mean, it gets a little more confusing when he decides to go to outer space and
Well, sure.
things get a little more complicated there. But anyway, so it's an aggressive movie in its expansion in the marketplace. Also super aggressive in filmmaking. 40 minutes in, and the movies we talked about that came before this, besides like Texas Chainsaw and Halloween, even Black Christmas, much slower burn. Much slower burn. Not a lot of on-screen killing until the very end. and not as many. And 40 minutes into this, and people are getting offed violently. Kevin Bacon takes an arrow through the
Bacon's
throat.
kill is probably the greatest kill in movie history.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion.
Yep. And they actually said that the blood splurt, you know how it like shoots out, was actually a fucking accident. The hose broke underneath that squirt the blood, and it wasn't as powerful, and it broke, and the guy was like, oh shit. So he just put his mouth on it and blew as hard as possible. And that's why it like shoots up
perfect.
like that. Yeah. And Savini wanted to take credit for it, but he was like, well, I guess I can't take it. But it was still great, right? Yeah. And the emphasis on besides Halloween, this is much more like those other movies, which is who's the killer. Mm-hmm. That was the premise of this Friday the 13th. Whereas in the future ones, that's not going to be the case. But who is the killer? And there was a lot of red herrings.
You would have been shocked if you saw this in 1980 by who the killer was at the end.
I think so. But like, they didn't really, like, Pam wasn't really a character up until like the last 5 minutes.
Right. That's why I would have been shocked. Be like, what the fuck? I think that all makes sense.
But then it's almost like, I guess that's true. But then it's also like, as soon as she shows up, she's like, want to hear the story about my son drowning? And you're like, oh, I think I see where this is going.
I love when she first shows up and you're like,
it was so good.
I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times, so I didn't think that. But like, if you were seeing it for the first time, you'd be like, oh, she's safe. Like,
yeah. Also, there was definitely some trickery there because every stand-in for Betsy Palmer in those kills wasn't like a man, like hairy knuckles like you could see hair on his hands, like in all the kill scenes, because somebody was doing stand-in work for her. It wasn't Betsy Palmer, obviously, because it would give it away, like little old lady hands. So yeah, they were very hairy hands. So I think there was also a little trickery there. You know what I mean? Making you think definitely it's a guy.
Sure.
And all the red herrings in this are that it's the guys around the camp. Like it's somebody around that camp. I mean, probably Ralph was probably a big choice for people.
Yeah.
Crazy Ralph. Bill gets his arrows to the face. Alice is our final girl, doing everything she can to survive. In the final scene, she's barricaded herself in the cabin. It's actually probably the most realistic barricade I've ever seen because she literally piles everything in that fucking room against the door. She runs out and she's greeted by Mrs. Voorhees. I'm Mrs. Voorhees, a friend of the Christies. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Mrs. Voorhees then starts ranting about the son dying, her little son, whose name was Jason. Again, you're right. It's crazy that it was not planned for Jason to take over because like the emphasis on his name, like who gives a fuck?
Right. Yeah.
And it's so crazy. I don't know. And we get our first flashback of the kid drowning, screaming, help, mommy, help. And then she goes, I am Jason, I am. And then Big Pam pulls out a fucking Bowie knife and the battle's on. And it's crazy because the same formula will be used for all of Jason's hunt and kills.
All of them.
All of them, except it is like mother, like son. Like it's truly the same concept. And it's kind of cool like that though. Like it's kind of cool that they kept that formula despite the character changing completely. Like she chases this girl around a cabin for 10 minutes. Then they get outside, near escape. But then, the
old frying pan to the head.
Old frying pan to the dome piece. It's like the They Live fight. This fight was forever. Just beating the piss out of each other. Because it was actually two humans fighting.
Right.
Unlike the rest of them. It was just two gals just beating the piss out of one another. Until Alice grabs a machete and cuts off her fucking head.
It is a pretty awesome scene.
Alice spends the night in a canoe on the lake. The cops show up. Alice is laying there. It's the most like epic, happy music of all time. So it sounds like the Twin Peaks theme song. Yep. It's so happy. Yep. She's got this look on her face, and then fucking still scares me. This scene still gives me the jump every single time. It happened in the theater.
Well, the way that they make the noise like loud,
yeah.
They slow it down. He looks like Ari Lerman.
Ari Lerman jumps out with no makeup on. No. He's not. Anyway, yeah, so baby Jason pops up, grabs her, but then she wakes up in the hospital. Did you find the boy that pulled me under? Ma'am, we didn't find any boy. Then he's still there.
Yeah.
And that is how you end a fucking movie.
Did you see that the hair was done by a place in Connecticut called 6 Feet Under in Westport?
The hair?
Like the hairstyling and all the movie.
Oh, no.
The company that did it.
Oh, cool.
Caught my eye.
Oh, that's very neat.
Yeah, I can't find them anywhere.
9 kills in this film. 10 if you include Pam.
I do.
Then that's 10 kills.
Why would you not?
Well, I mean 9 from the killer.
The bad guy?
Yeah. Because usually the bad guy doesn't die. And the rest of them.
Well, does Jason count? So there should be 11.
Jason wasn't killed on screen.
Neither was the person with the axe.
Sean Cunningham hands the reins to his protege, Steve Miner, who was working under Sean in the first one.
Who did the fantastic Lake Placid.
Soul Brothers. Soul Brother, Soul whatever. Soul Patch. Written by Ron Kurz and Phil Scuderi. Released April 30th, 1981, so they did not waste any fucking time. Budget, $1.25 million. Box office, $21 million in the U.S. alone. And I'm sure worldwide it took a huge jump after the first one. 6.1 on IMDb, 34% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What movies had sequels so successful like this? Like, I know Godfather 2 is huge.
So,
but I mean, like, in the horror genre.
I think it's considered one of the most successful franchises in any genre.
I'm just talking about like making a sequel, pumping out a sequel so fast and having it successful. Because now that's the norm.
Now it's the norm.
But I can't think of anything other than Godfather 2.
Nothing at the time, for sure.
And like, you know, this crowd I'm assuming wasn't big Godfather 2 fans.
and even back then, sequels were not.
No, they weren't moneymakers. You weren't gonna.
No, like Disney would have. Like, do you remember like when Disney released a sequel? You knew straight up it was going straight to video.
Straight to video, like Lion King 2, Aladdin 2.
Like there was no chance they were ever going to make a sequel. Like that was their premise, and I think they kind of set a tone for film where it was like a pride thing, right? Like let's make art.
Yeah, I just think that was always the case that they just like The Godfather 2 was an anomaly.
Right.
It was just a continuation.
It was a continuation of the story, right?
But this is a straight up sequel, and they pumped it out fast and
totally different. Just use the name. Like, let's bank in on this.
Like you said, that was even before Halloween 2.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
I can't think of anything else. Texas Chainsaw 2 was way after.
Yeah.
Aliens was way after.
That's so crazy. They were just like, let's make more money.
Genius.
Let's make a lot more
fucking
money.
Genius.
And somehow probably made more money based on the sequel introducing Jason as a character rather than, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Like people come to part 2 because they like part 1, and then part 2's like, what the fuck is this guy?
It's a whole new series.
Yeah.
It's a whole new series now.
And it almost becomes even more, it almost changes again in part 3 when Jason becomes a little bit more supernatural.
Well, then he dons the mask.
Yeah. And now he's like a character.
Yeah, it's almost like a whole new part 1.
Fuck. It's so fucking crazy. They really did kind of...
And in terms of like a movie, this is a really good sequel. Like
this is good. Which one is your favorite out of the first 3?
It's really hard because I think 1's the best.
Okay.
But I really like 2. I really like 2. And I really like 3 too. 3 is fun.
3 blows my mind. 3 is the most insane. The kills in 3, like in 3, they were like, okay, we know exactly what people want. Like they did 1.
I agree.
They did 1. They had a story. It was good. Then 2, they kind of like let loose a little bit. They're like, oh, people really like the sex. Like the teens having sex and this dude killing or somebody killing them.
3,
and then 3, they were like, hey, you know what? That's all people want are titties and blood.
Yeah.
So let's just fucking do it.
And they do. And they put 3D, and honestly, it's a fun 3D movie.
We saw it in 3D.
We did see it in
We got
3D.
to watch it with glasses on. Gave me a migraine.
Dude, when that guy has the rake that's like poking out, the people in front of us are going, whoa! And it made me. It still makes me laugh thinking about it. It's the most like tame effect. We watched it in 2017.
All of the effects are so fucking dumb in that. It's so insane.
Except for the eyeball. When the eyeball screws.
They're all so stupid. Dude, like they were clearly like, oh, fuck, we're out of things to make 3D. So let's just keep stabbing people with pitchforks.
Anything?
So that way the knob was just wagging in their face. It's so fucking ridiculous. Like,
Jason with a pitchfork is so funny, too.
I love it. Multiple kills with a pitchfork.
Me too.
2 in a row.
And that fucking sad sack.
Oh, Shelly.
That's his name, Shelly. Shelly is such a... Can we talk about...
I'd rather be a jerk than no one like me. And everyone's like,
every time...
You're fine.
Every time he's just ruining people's time. Like, what? He has to be special needs, right? Because I was like, this guy's an asshole. And then I was like, wait, maybe I shouldn't say that because there is a guy, one of the guys in the movie is like, hey, he doesn't know better. And like he says it very seriously. Like, wait, maybe he is special needs.
I kind of think, and they dropped it. They said something else. I think they used the R word, honestly, in it about him. But
it's the 80s. I mean.
But I know, but I couldn't tell if it was 80s use, like 80s, just like let's just say that about anyone, or if it was like a genuine diagnosis. Like I didn't know. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, he very clearly has no social cues.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's all... Anyway, we'll get to him. Let's do part 2. Jason is played by Warrington Gillette. What a guy.
What a name.
So Jason still hasn't developed into full-blown supernatural Jason. He still shows some weaknesses in this one. I mean, the fucking guy falls off of a fucking chair. So, this play, it opens up 2 months after part 1. Okay. Mm-hmm. So in part 1, Jason is a child.
I thought it was 5 months.
No, I was wrong. It was
2 months
after part 1. Jason's a child. When they signed on Adrienne King to perform in the second one, they did not tell her she was only going to be in one scene. She thought she was going to come back for the full movie, and she did not because she was asking for too much money.
Dude, so she's in the beginning.
Yeah.
Bunch of, jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
Jason shows up at her house for some reason. Like he followed her just to get her.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
No.
To be honest with you. One of my favorite things ever, is that he murders this girl. Well, he puts a head in a fridge. Somehow.
Diabolical.
Somehow.
And whose head?
And whose head is correct. We don't know. She sees it. He kills her. And then he has the wherewithal and the courtesy to take her fucking boiling tea kettle off the stove so it doesn't burn fire to the house.
I fucking love that. 2 is a really weird fucking movie. Jason feels the most human in 2.
Yeah.
100%. He like I said, he falls off a fucking chair in this one. Like he's just standing on a chair and like...
Oh, it was his mom's head in the fridge.
But then why is the head... Why? Is he carrying it around?
I think so, because he has a shrine of her.
All right. Well, that's fucking stupid, but that's fine. That's fine.
Because she cut off the head.
This opening...
That's why.
Oh, yes. So this opening is very just heavy with red herrings and things like that. 5 years later, Crazy Ralph is fucking back. And this movie, we have way more obnoxious kids. Way more obnoxious kids. These are the kids that you'll see in the movies going forward. Crazy Ralph says, "You're all doomed. You're all doomed." And the premise of this one is there's a bunch of counselors training for camp in the camp next to Camp Crystal Lake. Wheels is there. We got our kid in the wheelchair. Whose
but
dick,
again, I
dick works.
like I said in the beginning, his dick does work. That's like you don't need to pay attention to these movies, but if you did, it still makes enough sense where you're not like furious.
Yeah.
Why this is happening?
Yeah.
Well, up until part 5.
And the girls in this one are next level 80s hot. In the first one, a lot more apple pie.
Yep.
a little bit more down to earth. This one, nobody's wearing a bra. You can see all of their nipples through their fucking sweaters. It's fucking wild.
Again,
and I loved it.
Trend setting. Because every slasher from here on just did that.
Yeah. Camp counselor Paul Holt hosts a counselor. This is from Wikipedia. Hosts a counselor training camp near Camp Crystal Lake. The camp is attended by Sandra, her boyfriend Jeff, troublemaker Scott, tomboy Terry, wheelchair-bound Mark, sweet-natured Vicky, jokester Ted, and Paul's assistant Ginny.
Do you think they did the wheelchair as an homage to Texas Chainsaw?
Do you think they did it as an homage to the Burger King Kids Club?
They did not. What? Oh, it turns out they did. Jason's a member of the Burger King Club.
Years later. Yeah, maybe. I think they were smart enough to be like, can we just add as many things that we can do weird shit with? Elements that we can bring into this.
Yeah, because part 3 they threw in a pregnant woman, which is honestly so uncalled for. And they don't even have the decency to let her live.
It's so bad.
And I don't think
that's so fucking bad.
I know. I don't think people pick up on it because they don't like hammer it home.
No, they don't.
Because I only discovered that recently. I was like, wait a second.
That's funny. I just discovered it while looking at a kill list before part 3. I was looking at how many kills in each movie and who.
Did they count that as 2?
They didn't. But it was a note. There's a note side. There was a note side that was like, hey, if you want to be fucked up and count the baby, here.
I mean, it's legitimately uncalled for.
It's so uncalled. It's so insane. Why is that a thing? And especially because they didn't hammer it home. I'd almost be more if they did it and went big with it and were like, hey.
It's just nonchalant.
It's just this pregnant woman's what the fuck?
It's ridiculous.
Why did you have to include that? Just get rid of it. These kids know about Jason. They're telling the story of Jason around a campfire.
This is 2 months after the first one.
No, now it's 5 years.
Oh, 5 years.
So
that's right. That's 2 months.
Then
she
5
got
years.
killed in 5 years. My bad.
Okay.
So I guess the folklore did have time to.
Yes. But why is the folklore about Jason and not Pam?
That's a good point. I guess maybe because he's the one that died and set her off. And
I mean, they could be. Oh, they tell the story of her dying. Never mind. I think they tell the story of Jason coming back for.
And they're doing it through campfire.
Yes.
And they have a guy jump out, and he's wearing a Jason mask,
which is crazy
because nobody knows what he looks like.
Yeah. And these movies cruise.
And I don't mean like a hockey mask.
Yeah.
I mean he looks like Ari Lehman's face.
Yeah. 30 minutes into this movie, these movies fly by. I love it. They just cruise. They give you everything you want. Kids are starting to go over to Camp Crystal Lake. Cops aren't happy about it. They don't want them going over there and causing a ruckus. First kid to get got, Scott, gets his throat slashed. Fucking brutal.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into the Jason age thing, but this is where it's very noticeable that Jason has become a full-grown man.
Yes.
A very large man.
Does Scott get killed before Doomsday?
No, I think he might have gotten killed first. There's 3... Dude, you're 30 minutes in, and there's 3 kills. The cop dies.
Yep.
The cop dies because Jason runs across the street like Bigfoot. Like every Bigfoot sighting ever. Like the cop's driving down the road and Jason's just running across the street and into the woods. It's the weirdest fucking thing. And the cop's like, hey, wait a minute. And goes after him and Jason fucking kills him. I fucking love it. The only girl, though, who believes any of this is Ginny. She's the only one that's like, hey, guys, I don't think we should really fuck with Jason.
Which is why she's the final girl.
Right. Yeah. Next, my second favorite kill in this, machete Wheels taking the machete
to the face
and then wheeling
backward down the stairs. It's like that scene in Naked Gun where O.J. Simpson puts his hand in a bear trap and falls in the wet paint.
Adding insult to injury. Old Wheels takes the machete to the fucking face and is just fucking, dude, 1,000 stairs.
Yes.
The longest staircase I've ever seen.
Great Wall of China. Jason's, did we mention he's wearing the bag head in
He
this
is
film?
Baghead in this.
I'd like bag head Jason, man.
It's pretty cool.
The one eye.
It's solid. It's solid.
I like it.
It's not bad.
Wearing overalls. Why is he wearing overalls?
Why?
Where is he shopping from?
Oh, well, so I discovered. So in part 3, it opens up with him just killing a grocer, a local grocer.
Yeah.
And I was always like, why is this happening? And it's to steal their clothes, is what Wikipedia said.
Okay.
And I was like, makes sense. But I think I don't.
Again, why is he so self-conscious?
He cares more about his look.
He is disgusting.
He also cuts his hair from 2 to 3
He does.
heavily. Maybe donate it to Locks of Love.
He didn't. Can we talk about, we've actually discussed this on the show plenty of times,
Sure.
but I still get a kick out of the fact how, like, I know I can name Buzz specifically. He would be like, Jason Takes Manhattan. I
wanted to talk about this. Okay, yeah.
Be like, so when we all went to elementary school together, growing up, we would always talk about movies, especially like this and Chucky.
Yeah.
And then Buzz in particular would be like, in Jason Takes Manhattan, you see Jason's face. And we were like, holy shit. And like, we did that for like every movie. You literally see his face in every fucking movie.
Every fucking movie.
1, he's not wearing a mask. 2, his mask comes off. 3, his mask comes off. It's every fucking movie you see his
single
face.
fucking movie.
And also, it never looks the same. They can't keep it consistently.
I agree. And you know what? It wasn't even Buzz for me. I remember it was this kid, Kelsey, that lived on our street. Would always say the same shit too. He was like, "In Jason Goes to Hell, you see his face."
Yeah. Jason Goes to Hell is another one. Like they unmasked Jason. You're like,
And I was
holy
like,
shit!
what?
You got to see this. And like I had already seen his face in Jason Takes Manhattan, but still, when I heard Jason Goes to Hell, I was like, holy shit! You get to see his face. But it's like the moral is kids are dumb.
Kids are so fucking stupid and probably shouldn't be watching these movies.
No, of course not.
Man, yeah, that was crazy. Dude, and Jason was a part of my childhood from like as far as I can remember,
Again,
dude.
We've already like I cannot stress enough how cool and like important it is that like they just made this being, this awesome bad guy, in a sequel.
Yeah.
Because not even the original fucking thing.
And it was like they were like last ditch effort. Like they were like, well, we literally chopped this woman's head off.
I honestly think that's so cool.
It'd be really hard to bring her back. Yeah. So let's bring back this guy, Jason.
Unparalleled.
And it was also a matter of paying Betsy Palmer, I believe. They were like, well, she's too expensive. So let's just get an unknown guy to play Jason.
It's honestly incredible.
And on top of it being like, well, this is going to make no sense, but let's make Jason a fucking giant.
It's incredible.
He was just a child 5 years ago.
It would never be able to be done ever again.
No. People would tear it apart.
Like, what was a big movie?
Could you just fucking imagine if you did that, like, to any movie now, how bad people would rip it apart?
Exactly.
They would fucking shred.
I'm trying to think, like, what's a big standalone movie that just came out?
I have trouble with that.
I can't think of shit.
Like a horror movie?
It's like anything, I guess.
You want to try and make a sequel? Like,
let's take Rocky. Imagine Rocky 2
it's not about Rocky.
was about, like, I don't know.
Rocky's neighbor.
Yeah.
Who wanted to be a boxer, who saw Rocky and was like, I want to be a boxer too. It sounds all right.
Yeah,
it sounds better than Rocky 5.
I guess the answer is imagine making Rocky 5 and people being like, this is awesome.
Well, no,
I want to see the sun.
It'd be like, it's like taking a character that was literally pronounced dead in the first movie as a child and then being like, let's make him a killer in this one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, let's just ignore all that from the first movie. Fuck it. And and Pam Voorhees rises from the grave. Yeah. Whatever. I love it, man. So part 2, the kills are fast and furious. He decimates.
Still great effects.
Literally decimates the camp. The two main characters, Paul and Ginny, they go out drinking at this towny bar, which also is a casino somehow. And they go out.
Take place in Illinois.
They go out drinking.
That's how their casinos are. Sorry, Illinois. They're almost as shitty as your strip clubs.
And they go out drinking, Paul and Ginny. And I mean, like, they go out and by the time they get back from a little night of drinking, Jason has decimated the camp. Literally, no one's alive. Everyone's fucking dead. They come back to the cabin, and the cabin battle is on. It is on. I think this is one of the best scenes, though. So Ginny's our final girl.
Yeah.
He gets Paul. I think how does he incapacitate Paul? I don't even remember. But anyway, Paul's out of the picture. Ginny makes a run for it.
He just
Paul just comes and goes as he pleases.
Jason just kind of incapacitates him, and then he's about to kill him with a pickaxe.
And then always comes back. Yeah, it's fucking weird. So Ginny, this is one of my favorite scenes, and I remember this. This is burned into my head. One of my favorite Jason scenes. She runs into Jason's little room at the camp, finds the shrine to Pam Voorhees. Her sweater's laid out. Pam's head's laying on the table. Candles are lit. Jason doesn't strike me as a candle guy, but he is.
I can't believe that. I honestly can't believe it.
Guy wears a fucking...
No way he can fucking handle light.
He only has one eye hole.
Dude, can you imagine him trying to light a lighter?
But she grabs the sweatshirt, puts it on, and starts pretending to be Jason's mom.
Yeah. Why is she thinking to do that?
I don't know, but it fucking works.
It does. Until
Jason's like, hey,
wait. Whose head is that over there?
That's mom's head. Whose head is that?
You can see the gears turning in his one stupid eye.
All right. Jason attacks Paul and Ginny again, takes a machete to the neck. She pulls off his mask, but we don't see anything. But they pull off the mask and they're like, Jesus Christ. They walk away. They think they're safe. They're back at the cabin. Another great jump scare. Ginny thinks all is well and good. And then Jason jumps through the fucking window and grabs her. The end repeats itself. Yep. Ginny wakes up alive somehow, which I still don't understand that concept. Why? Well, because I guess I don't know. She's being loaded into an ambulance. Where's Paul? Where's Paul? And we close in on Mrs. Voorhees' head, which for some reason does not have the same hair as Betsy Palmer. Betsy Palmer's hair grew a lot since she was last decapitated.
It has. This was filmed in Connecticut.
Yes, this one is filmed in Connecticut.
In Preston, New Preston.
Yeah, I was actually going to tell you we should go take pictures down there or something to coincide with this, but
we can go next week.
All right, sure.
For the ones that don't take place in Connecticut.
Yeah, we can. No, well, this doesn't release for another 2 weeks, so
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Why'd you say we can't?
I don't know, just because we're lazy.
There's a 0% chance we do it, but we can.
We'll talk about it, yeah. So, 10 kills. 10 fucking kills. But Paul's listed as debatable. Paul's fucking dead. Okay? Everyone's fucking dead.
We should make a documentary. What happened to Paul?
And there probably already is some asshole. You see these
James
fucking
Franco?
Shitty fucking...
Did you know about that? James Franco's such an asshole. You know about that movie Cruising? The Al Pacino movie?
I don't think so.
So Al Pacino plays a detective who goes undercover and he goes to gay bars because some guy is targeting gays.
Yes.
And there's a scene where they use a rubber fist and they fist somebody.
Yeah.
But supposedly, just lore. I'm pretty sure the director, it was the guy who made The Exorcist, William Friedkin. I'm pretty sure he even said no, that's not true. But there's a folklore that there's an explicit graphic gay sex scene that was left out by the studio. They're like, you cannot put this in here. And James Franco made a short, re-depicting what that scene might have looked like. A scene that does not exist, just based off his own.
Wait, no, okay. Well, that is idiotic and insane. If we had more money, that's us. We literally were just like, we need to make a prequel where Betsy Palmer's salting the water.
You're right. Touche.
It's 100% us. He just has the money to actually be go through with it. If we had the cash, I would be out filming Betsy Palmer.
When I did my mini, I pitched because people asked what I wanted to see in a new Child's Play movie, and it was just a prequel before Chucky, just Charles Lee Ray, just as a human. So just take away the only thing people care about.
Getting it.
Charles Lee Ray?
I'm not. Listen, here's what I know. I know the people that own the rights to Child's Play. I think it's Universal. They're making a new Child's Play movie. It's in their schedule. They don't have the rights to Chucky. The rights to Chucky are sold to somebody else. But Universal has the rights to Child's Play, and they're making another one.
Why the fuck are people not hiring me?
Because it's probably not that. It's probably just a new doll.
You're right. You're right.
Like
He
Charkley.
passed himself to Charlie. Is it
Charkley. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we gotta finish this. How long is this episode?
It's actually not as long as you think. It's at 108 right now.
That's way longer, I think. 108 minutes?
Yeah.
It's almost 2 hours.
Well, we took a little bit. No, sorry. I don't know why I said 108. 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Okay. Holy shit. It's way longer than I thought.
This is a nightmare. So part 2 done.
Trapped in that salt lake.
Time's been going by so slow. August 13th, 1982.
Was the second one released on Friday the 13th?
No. It was April 30th? April 30th.
Okay. But the third one was released
Yes.
on Friday the 13th.
Which is great. Because to me, this one is a celebration.
It is.
Part 3.
And it starts with the most funkiest music.
Yes, it does. Part 3 was the first film to remove E.T. from the #1 box office spot and became the second highest grossing horror film of 1982, only behind Poltergeist. Fucking Spielberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a serial, Toby Hooper.
R.I.P.
You were a great guy.
You fucking hack.
But I love that you do that to me. I'll say something and you go, geez, like that under your breath. You did it to yourself. Budget, $2.3 million. Box office, $36 million.
What did 2 make?
US only. 2 was 21.
Wow.
So they spent $1 million extra and took in an extra 10.
And the first one was only $500,000 to make.
Yeah.
Now they're using 2, and they used 3D.
They did use, that was probably that extra million.
Had to be.
Box office, said that 5.7 on IMDb, 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is our first not fresh Friday the 13th.
Did you do the Rotten Tomato score on the second one?
Yeah. It
was
it wasn't very good. It was 34%.
Oh, so that wasn't fresh.
I guess that wasn't fresh either. But I think they still show
part
they
one?
still show like a tomato.
Why?
34. Because Rotten Tomatoes makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, this sucks, but you know what? Here's a tomato.
Nightmare. Because it probably means something to somebody. The first one, though, was 61%.
Okay, fair.
So 61% of critics
Why
gave it
is
a
2
positive
so
review.
low?
That's what I thought, man. 2 is whatever. Anyway.
There's a horror website called what the hell? Having a stroke. Vegan Voorhees.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is it?
I don't know. But they have a list of top 100 slashers.
Dude, the amount of fan pages Friday the 13th has is unbelievable. It's actually great. It's a great resource. Full of nightmarish people in the comment section.
Of course.
Joe, one guy posted all these photos from the locations like he went out and took.
Yeah.
Went to every location, took pictures, told his story. And the comments are like, hey, buddy, I really doubt this story. And like railed on this guy who's doing it for free. He's got a stupid website where he posts it. And everyone's like being like, I call bullshit on this. They don't let anyone in there. Bullshit. They're so fucking mad at this guy for doing nothing.
People on the internet
Are such nightmares.
assholes. Fucking losers. Would never say that in real life.
Never.
You show them this picture, they'd be like, can
Well,
I be
that's pretty
friends?
neat. Yeah. Can I buy that from you?
Then go online. Dude, he probably showed them in real life, and then they were like, "That's so cool." And then went online, like,
Yeah.
"You fucking cocksucker."
Dude, it was great. It was the most aggressive and they said his name. It was like, Paul, I find your story highly suspect. I was like, Jesus Christ. So this is presented in 3D. We get a flashback to part 2. Then sorry,
I didn't finish my
Yeah.
thought. Friday the 13th Part 2 is the number 1 slasher of all time on that site.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He's wrong.
Agreed.
That's fine. I don't have an answer for him right now,
It's
but well, yeah, I guess that's true. The new one that I've only seen the trailer for. Obviously,
The one with the checkerboard.
yeah, the one with the checkerboard prison.
And the founder of Barstool Sports as the police officer.
That's the one
Dave Portnoy.
showing him the mask. Hey, remember this?
That should be honestly chalk it up for another movie.
Our movie ideas are way better.
Some guy visiting Dahmer, just holding up a penis.
Hey, remember this, buddy? Just waving a dick in his face. What do you think about this?
The one they found in the freezer.
Yeah. What do you think about this, buddy? Got any more secrets to tell us? Maybe this will jog your memory.
Oh god, that's funny.
Nightmare. It's just... Anyway. I don't know why that's so funny. This is presented in 3 dimensions, and it's so fucking annoying. It's unbelievable. Oh, you know what else I wanted to just drop? Because, I like to complain on this about fucking idiot asshole fans. And I think is it 2 or 3 where they kill a snake?
It's
A snake pops out in
This one.
3, but I don't think that's the one that they kill. Oh, it's in the bunk.
No, you're right.
That's in 2,
it's
right?
2.
That's a fucking real snake they kill.
No doubt.
So where are all the fucking people on Twitter that are like, I don't watch Cannibal Holocaust because they hurt real animals? Which, by the way, that's fine if that's what you don't want to watch it about. Even though, those were indigenous people doing that. You know what I mean?
And they ate them all.
And they did eat them all.
Yeah, they used it.
Where are they about Friday the 13th Part 2? Because they take such a hardline stance on Cannibal Holocaust where it's like, I refuse. They will straight, people will be like, hey, look at this cool cannibal. And they'll just chime in and be like, I don't watch this movie. Just so everyone knows, all my 4 followers know, I don't watch Cannibal Holocaust because they killed real animals in it. Well, guess what? Stop watching Friday the 13th Part 2. Because in the documentary, they're like, yeah, we killed a real snake.
Yeah, and it's honestly kind of brutal.
It's fucking insane. Anyway, that's my 2 cents about idiot assholes.
Named?
Dude, I wanted to say it so bad, but I cannot risk having to edit that out. I have names, though, in my head.
Well, can I just show you this picture of the worst slasher of all time called Axum? Look at that guy.
The fact that we haven't done that is fucking nightmare. Why have we not done that?
Can I audible and just skip Patreon after this and do Axum?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. Look at that fucking guy.
So we meet this grocer. Just a bunch of 3D effects here. The grocer is the worst person ever. He eats fish food, and he lets the bunny. He has a bunny that just hangs out in the produce.
Enormous bunny.
Yeah, it's the most unhygienic thing I've ever seen. And really, so part 3 starts off. I mean, people say it was so Jason could get clothes. That's why he's out in the laundry. That's fine. But let's face it, this is a pointless fucking kill. Just put in to murder somebody in the first
They're
few
not
minutes.
teens and they're not at a
It's
camp.
amazing. And it sets the tone to this movie, in my opinion, where it's just, this is a new Jason. And it's insane. So he kills both these people that own the market for no fucking reason.
Guy's taking a shit in the outhouse.
Gets fucking murdered. We meet our crew, which is, I don't know why I said which is led by Shelly. Shelly is not the leader of this group whatsoever. Shelly's a fucking nightmare. I would not want to hang around with Shelly. He's a fucking curly-headed fuck. There's a Cheech and Chong ripoff in the back.
There is.
Way more drugs in this one, too.
Yep.
This is the first one where it's real like the car's smoking. They're like, our car's on fire. And they're just high as
Cheech
fuck.
and Chong,
Yeah. Crazy Ralph is dead. So they literally have this
New
other doomed guy who's holding an eyeball and just shaking at the camera for 3D effects, obviously. Our kids, this van full of kids on their way in, they go to a convenience store where there's 3 New York City G.G. Allen style punks.
Why? They're so out of place there. But that was like the thing. That was like the new like trend that was happening.
So they were like, we got to include these people.
Yeah.
I mean, much like the rest of Friday the 13th, somehow it's fine.
However, I like their inclusion.
It's kind of a cool, I mean, it was the first change of pace for the series where it was like
I liked how there was like
outsiders.
There was like another group of like villains that they had to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So these 3 New York City punks, they're basically just harassing Shelley for no reason until Shelley wrecks all of their motorcycles.
Runs right into it. The great scene.
Yeah. The punks end up following them back.
They're going to light the house on fire.
Wait, is that their plan?
He has a bunch of gas.
They were just siphoning
it. I thought he was going to light the barn on fire.
That's so funny. Oh, maybe the barn. No, I don't think that was ever the case. I think they were just like, dude, that would be... That would be insane. That would be such a jump. Oh my God, that would be crazy.
He knocked their motorcycle. Maybe I'm just an asshole.
Yeah, you definitely
totally what I would
burn
do.
down their house. Because it's funny because when they're siphoning, see, I can't tell because when they're siphoning the gas, the girl punk is like, come on, man, we shouldn't do this. And I was like, she's really concerned about siphoning gas. But then at the same time, the guy's smoking a cigarette while they siphon gas, and the guy's like, hey, put that out. So he's not that concerned.
Well, maybe he's concerned about his well-being.
Well, anyway, these 2 punks start fucking around in the barn. Lady punk, pitchfork to the fucking throat and hung up from the rafters in the barn.
Great kill.
Amazing. This leads one of the other punks to come in. There's only 3 of them. He comes in.
Even on the Wikipedia page, it says they're going to burn down that barn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Thank God. I was a little concerned.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, the barn made more sense than the house, like burning them alive. Like I was like, wow, that's really aggressive because all their motorcycles work. That's how they got there. But yeah, burning down the barn. I mean, that's still pretty aggressive.
Yeah, but Jason's in the barn because that's where he hangs.
Okay, so I'll get to that. So. Second punk goes up looking for the girl punk. He takes a pitchfork.
Yeah.
And this is the entire purpose of these pitchforks is so they could wobble the knobbles at us. It's so odd. So Jason, though, you're right, is just and then the third punk comes up and he gets bludgeoned.
Yep.
Jason does not leave this barn. And it's because he's self-conscious about not having a mask. Are you aware of that?
I am.
I find that so interesting. And it adds an element to this third movie where he does not come out of that barn for a while.
Right.
And it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. I don't know. There's something about it.
Do you like that the girl knows him from like her younger days?
No, that's fucking madness. That's okay. So you just brought the movie down a little bit for me. You're right. That part of the movie, and I always forget it for some reason because it literally doesn't need to exist, right? And did you know the original story was Jason raped her?
I did not know that.
And she was like, I'm not doing that. And they were like, well, and she was like, no. And they were like, fine. I'm curious how that would have changed the franchise because I feel like a lot of people would be like,
why is Jason raping
people? Know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, that would be psychotic.
But like, she was from Crystal Lake, or
no? So her story. We learn this girl. What's her name?
Chris.
Yes, Chris. 2 years
the girl
prior,
named Chris and the guy named Shelley. It's throwing you off.
Chris, our final girl, by the way, she tells a story that 2 years ago, this dude, Rich, is that or Paul? Who? All these names are just the most white, annoying names. Rick.
She's telling Rick, yeah.
Okay, so Rick's her little boyfriend, And she's saying, you know, the last time I went out with you, my parents got mad. My mom hit me. And because this is Rick's family's barn or whatever, farm. So she was visiting him or whatever. She goes home, gets beat up by her mom. She leaves. She runs away, fake runs away and hides out in the woods for a little bit just to scare her parents. And she's like, while I was out there, this fucking Jason goes walking by and he starts grabbing me. And
but she doesn't know it was Jason.
No. She's like this
deformed man.
Putting it nicely. And I don't even know. She's like, I don't know what happened, but I somehow escaped.
Yeah.
Which I guess is where the rape would have taken place, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, it's so disturbing. But instead, we get this weird story where she's like, yeah, this guy grabbed me and I don't know what happened.
So she's from Crystal. She had an old home.
I guess she's near there, yeah.
No, I'm telling you, that's why they're going back to her old home on Crystal Lake. And she's going back to confront her fears.
Right.
Because of this guy.
Yes, but she didn't want to come out here.
No.
But she's like, fuck it.
I have to get over it, yes.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason's still hiding in the barn because he's ugly. Shelly decides he's going to scare a girl by scuba diving and grabbing a girl's foot.
Yeah.
He does so in a hockey mask because it, wouldn't be scary enough getting grabbed by something in the water.
Also, how is he swimming like that?
And also carrying a fucking harpoon gun. This is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen. Literally carrying one to murder himself with.
It is the sole purpose of that
Sole purpose of that gun. It's insane. It's insane. So Shelly has this confrontation with this girl where he's like, why doesn't anyone like me? And like, Shelly, you're a fucking nightmare.
You're an asshole.
look at you. You're a fucking nightmare. So he goes and storms off to the barn for some reason. And he's an off-screen kill.
Yes.
You don't see him die. But that girl by the water sees Jason come out with the mask and the harpoon gun. And she for some reason thinks it's Shelly, even though
completely different build.
No hair. I can't. The list is endless of why they don't look the same. And at least at the end of it, she's like, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing?" And Jason shoots her in the fucking eye with a harpoon gun. At
the end of this, we should list like the definitive top 10 Friday kills.
That's what I want to do. That's what I was thinking. I don't know what this serial killer, what we're going to answer really, whether it's bad or not. Because I don't know. I don't think you can answer that because it's almost intentionally bad in a way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is what it is. It is bad. It's just people dying. But 3 to me has the most, it's nonstop kills and they are nuts. Yeah. They are fucking nuts.
This will be my top 10.
For sure. There's a bunch of them. Machete to the nuts is the next one. Handstand machete to the nuts.
Why is that guy walking on his hands?
Which I never noticed before. He does it earlier in this movie.
Yeah, no, he does.
Oh yeah, I never really picked up on it.
It's gimmick.
It's party gimmick. It's a party trick.
It's
like every fucking asshole in college that busts out their acoustic guitar when everyone was having fun and then played Wonderwall.
Yeah, but Sean, this guy is doing it. The girl's already in the shower. Nobody's watching him.
Girl's like, "Can we please have sex?" And he's like, "Hang on."
Calling for him in the shower. He's like, I'll be right there, walking in like an asshole.
I love this movie. Machete to the nuts.
What would make you not want to fuck more? Naked Monopoly, strip Monopoly, or having somebody walking on their hands?
Walking on their hands. Well,
like,
Naked Monopoly.
If they walked in on their hands and were like, hey, I'm about to do like tricks. Sure, but they're just like, hey, I'm gonna go get you a beer and then walk out of the room. I'd be like, just stay.
And it's the second time he's done it. Like you were walking home and he was like walking on your hands and she's like, can you please stop? And he's like, no.
Can you think of how insane that is? You like, you have like somebody over, you're walking, you're ready to do the business, and they're just walking around on their hands.
Being like, can I get you a drink? Dude, that's what he does. He walks in.
Fuck out of my house.
He walks in on his hands to offer her a drink.
Yeah. I know, I'm well aware.
Can I get you a beverage?
And then leaves still on his hands. There's so much effort.
I might start.
Asshole.
I might start practicing walking on my hands just so I can walk into a room and be like, "Can I get you guys anything?"
Sean, that's so stupid.
And then walking out. So he gets a machete to the
Thank God.
nuts. Girlfriend, she gets the old the classic, which Jason does all the time, and so does his mom. Laying on the bed. How many beds has Jason ruined?
Loves killing from the bed.
He loves holding your head and stabbing you from underneath.
He was already standing when he killed Handstand Man.
Yeah.
He could have just walked into the shower. Instead, he went and climbed under a bed.
Expecting
That's so much effort. Like, you have to, like, really...
Love what you do.
Like, things just really have to align. Just assume she's going to get into bed soon.
A cot at that. It's a hammock inside.
I mean, Jason, what are you doing?
And then the kills just don't stop from here. The stoner's girlfriend, Chili, she finds dead Shelly. And she runs away. She's trying to alert somebody. And Jason fucking kills her with a red hot poker impaling her stomach.
Yep.
You fucking kidding me?
Don't forget fuse box kill.
Fuse box kill I could.
That's my favorite kill in the series.
Fuse box kill, you know, Jason was super disappointed in. Dude, the amount of work he did to like go under the bed, and then he was probably like when you like drop something and it's in slow motion, you're like, fuck, and like a glass breaks. Jason throwing him into the fuse box, he was probably like, no, I wanted to do so much more to you. God damn it. Fucking dead. You electrocuted yourself.
Yeah.
She gets impaled by a poker. So we're left with Chris and Rick.
Yeah, Rick doesn't fare well.
Rick's like, oh my God, this place is a mess. Let me go outside.
Gets his head crushed by Jason's bare hands, and his eyeball pops out in 3D. That honestly might be my favorite in the movie.
It's amazing. And the head like fucking shatters. Like the head.
We got to make that top 10 list.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, that was always my plan. So that's definitely happening. So Chris is all alone. For some reason, though, she's having a really hard time understanding that something bad is going on. Like, she's not convinced. She runs upstairs. The bathroom is flooded. Like, flooded. It's pouring out of the door. And she walks in and is like, huh. Then she looks in the bathtub. Blood is all over, which I don't even know why there's blood in the bathtub. No one died in the bathtub, but that's fine. Bathtub's full of blood and a bloody sweatshirt. And she looks at it and she makes a face like, huh. What could this be? What's this about? Well, she finds out soon because dead Rick's body's thrown through a window. And we get the Jason's chase, as usual, starting in the cabin. Yep. As the first two did. Chris is fighting back, though. Chris puts up more of a fight than anyone, with Jason at least. She stabs him in the hand and then stabs him in the fucking leg. And Jason's like, oh, and like taking bumps on this one. She escapes. She gets in the car, but the fucking punks siphon the gas. Yep. So it runs out of gas. She runs back to the barn. Yep. Knocks Jason out with the shovel. Hangs him.
Then he takes his mask off.
Okay. Wait a minute. This is probably my favorite scene in all of the movies. It makes me laugh out loud so fucking
stupid
hard.
Fucking dude, freak face.
You know what else that makes me laugh is when we go to Connecticut Cult Classics and we watch these movies, and it's shit that you laugh at by yourself, and then you hear a whole theater laugh and you're like, was this the intention or not? I don't know. Because I remember the theater laughing so fucking, like everybody was laughing at this scene because it's so out of control. Jason's hanging. She throws him out a window, the barn window. She comes down the stairs, opens the barn doors where Jason's body is hanging. He grabs the rope and starts like kind of like lifting himself up with one hand. Yeah. And then takes off his mask as like, remember me? And she's like, oh shit, I do. And he's got like a goofy grin on. Like he's like, ooh.
Yeah, he is.
Then he puts his mask back on and takes the rope off his neck. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in my life.
Is it more insane than, she escapes, but Then his big stupid face is in the mirror, just looking out. He's like, nah!
No, that's what I was gonna say too. I love that scene also.
I love it.
It cracks me up.
I love it.
It cracks me up. She gets
he's so confused in that window. Like that guy deserves an Oscar. This is like I've never seen somebody look more confused just looking out a window. Like, who?
That is like, it cracks me up so hard every time. One of the punks ends up being alive, though, the guy that got bludgeoned. He tries to stop Jason and literally just gets his hand chopped off immediately. And then Jason takes forever chopping him up.
Yeah.
Jason's literally just chopping him up. Gives enough time for Chris to grab an axe. They start fighting, but he takes an axe to the face. Like all Jason movies, she gets in the canoe, pushes off into the lake. When she wakes up, Jason is in the window, like Joe said, hissing like a cat. He's like, and clawing at the window. And again, being genuinely confused by a window. Genuinely. And then
like the way he's moving his head.
The way he's moving his head is so funny.
It's like he doesn't know how he got there, but he walked in there.
And the way he runs, like when he like realizes he can go down the stairs. It cracks me up because she's watching him like, oh my God. And then he's like, huh? And his head just moves to the side and then he just disappears. It's fucking creepy though. Imagine seeing that. How fucking scared shitless you'd be.
Yeah, sure. I gotta find a picture. That's gonna be my IG post.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Stupid face.
It's gotta be. And somebody's gonna ask you what movie it's from.
They all are.
Nobody shows up though. Pam Voorhees jumps out of the water into the canoe and pulls the girl into the lake. In the morning, the cops show up, and again, she's not in the lake. She was never pulled. The cops find her, and they say, looks like she's the only one alive. And the other cop says, what's that about the lady in the lake she keeps talking about? And in the closing scene, Jason is deader than a doornail on the ground.
Yeah.
12 fucking kills in this one. Body count is climbing with every movie we see. So that's it, guys. That is the first 3 Friday the 13th. This is Serial Killer. Next week, we will be examining... Next week, let me pull up our schedule because it's been altered. Next week, we'll be doing episode 2. I'm not sure which ones we're going to be doing. It's going to be Final Chapter, number 4, New Beginning, Jason Lives, and maybe New Blood. New Blood might get bumped to episode 3, though. We'll see. It'll probably
What's after New Blood? Is it
Manhattan and Hell, which I feel like deserve their own. Manhattan and Hell belong.
Gross.
Manhattan, I like.
You don't.
You say it to me every time.
You don't, though. You're just saying that.
I just feel like New Beginning, Jason Lives, and New Blood kind of belong together.
Jason swims to Manhattan.
It's perfect.
It's not. He can't even figure out what the window is. Swims to Manhattan.
He's literally trying to claw it away.
He keeps pace with the boat.
A motorized boat.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, she lands and he's like 2 feet behind.
He crawls right out. Fucking ridiculous.
All right, guys. So that's Serial Killer 1 through 3. That was awesome. I'm so excited. And then we'll post which movies are coming up next. None of these are available for streaming. I think one of them is on ePix. I don't even know which one. Maybe 2.
I own one on DVD. So
I think everyone does somehow. Because they've always put out a cheap box set that you could pick up. So.
Yeah. I think I paid like $300 for it in 2003.
Had to have it. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Facebook. Salem, Massachusetts, October 6th. Orlando, September 21st. Go to IHateHorror.com/events to get more information on those shows. We'll have them all there. They're on our Facebook too, facebook.com/IHateHorror. You can find me on Snapchat and Instagram at IHateHorror. Joe, where you at, brother?
Boognish 1985 and Horror Show Joe.
And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you all so much for your support. We really appreciate it. We're going to have some new merch soon. New merch. So keep your eyes peeled. And that's it, man. Really excited to wrap up Serial Killer soon. We can stop watching movies. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I dissect movies all fucking day.
Wanna play?
I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch.
Dismember.
A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced. A monster.
Mutilate. And butcher. That's it, guys.